damn, spent my money on this for nothing.
Embarrassing!
Are you tired of being tethered to your computer by a pesky cord?
Yeah.
Do you want the freedom to move your mouse around without any restrictions? Because you're no slave. Then look no further than the Logitech G305 wireless gaming mouse, as seen in commercials. This sleek and stylish mouse not only looks great on your desk, but it also delivers top-notch performance with its advanced optical sensor and long battery life. In this review, we'll dive deep into the features and benefits of the Logitech G305 wireless mouse and see if it's worth the investment to get into your gaming setup. So to kick things off, let's start with the design and build quality of this mouse. It's sleek and minimal, and it has no RGB lights. Now I know that the RGB lights thing may be a bummer for some of you, but I personally see it as a plus. Now, only the black version is minimal in my opinion, and the white one, and maybe the KDA version, but overall, it's sleek and minimal for those basic colors. The other colors I think stand out a little bit, and that's okay. Maybe it's right for you. Take a look at them yourself. Now it weighs 95 grams with the battery in. Now that's excluding the little USB port that you put into your computer because you're not going to have it in there when you're using it. Without a battery, it's 72 grams, makes it that much lighter. However, you can't really use it without the battery, so not that important. Now it has a slight gamer shape in my opinion. Now you might be asking, what's a gamer shape? It's just sharp edges near some of the areas, so like the front. Logitech also sells wireless mice that have a rounded front. This one's shaped a little sharp, makes it look a little more gamer-like. Now, the weight can be a little misdistributed in my opinion. It's a little heavier on the back. It gives it that premium feel, but that's because of the battery. It's not the lightest gaming mouse I've felt because of the battery, but it is still relatively light. Me personally, I like the little bit of weight. Doesn't really bother me none, but I can see how someone might think it's a little uneven because the back is heavier than the front. Now, personally, I think it's a little small for my hand. Here's a Mountain Dew bottle for reference of my hand, but it doesn't hurt my hand. So again, it is a little small for my hand, but I haven't got any cramps from it, from using it. And right here, I'll put the dimensions of the mouse. Now let's move on to performance. When I first plugged it into my computer, I just put this little piece in the back and started using it. And when I first moved the mouse, it felt a little stuttery and I thought I was going crazy. But I was right, it was stuttery. I was moving it, trying to do my things. For like the first minute or two, it was a little off. I was like, damn, spent my money on this for nothing. However, I gave it a little bit of time and I haven't had that issue too often. The only time I have that issue is when it goes into rest mode on its own and I move it again, it stutters for that quick second and then it's back to normal. On use, it tracks well and it works very fast. It basically feels like it's wired. And like I said before, when it goes into rest mode and you go right back on it, it goes straight to work after like a split second of it stuttering, just because it needs to turn on. Next, let's move on to battery life. They say it has 250 hours of battery life. Now, I can't attest to that yet because I haven't used it for 250 hours and I'm not tracking it for 250 hours. I'm not going to do that. But I imagine it will do that because it is a AA battery and it turns off and goes into rest mode on its own. It'll turn off on its own after not using it for a few minutes. I don't know exactly how long, but when you come back to it, you'll see the light turn blue and that indicates that it's turning back on essentially. It does that so it can save and preserve the battery life and doesn't just stay on 24/7, which is a nice feature in my opinion. And it said that it can be used up to 9 months if you turn it on to endurance mode in the software that you can get and download. So it doesn't need to be plugged in. There's no plugging in required. The only thing that needs to be plugged into your computer is the USB so your mouse can connect to the computer. Other than that, there's nothing it needs to be plugged into so that it can charge. It just requires a AA battery. That's all. Next, let's move on to connectivity. So to connect it to your computer, you will be using that little USB to connect straight into it. Now, you do have two options. It comes with the little USB dongle or the wire that connects to the dongle as well. So basically, there's a wired dongle that you plug into the computer. You can loop it close to where your mouse is going to be, and then you plug in your little dongle to it and makes it that much closer to your mouse so that it works just that much faster. Now, personally, I've tried it and tested it. There's not that much of a difference connecting it straight to the back and wiring it up and then connecting it there and having it closer to your mouse. Not huge difference, but there is a slight difference. Me personally, I'm just a little superstitious about it, so it does feel just that much faster knowing that it's connected and it's about this far from the mouse compared to being about 3 feet away. And it's great for not having to worry about hitting your cable everywhere when using the mouse. My previous mouse, it was a little bit bigger and fit my hand just that much better. However, since it was wired, when I moved it, I had to worry about it hitting my speaker. Since it's so close to my speaker, it would end up hitting it, and it would feel like it would mess up my aim a little bit because I was pushing up against something that I otherwise wouldn't have felt with the wireless mouse, or it just interrupted my gameplay. Next, let's move on to the software. On first glance, it is a bit confusing, but once you get yourself a little bit familiar and you start tweaking around a few things, it gets a lot easier. You can customize each button to do different things, and you can change the DPI settings, basically just how fast your mouse moves. I have 2 settings. I set one setting as low as possible, so when I'm editing, I can be super precise, or if I'm photoshopping something, I can be super precise with it, and now I don't have to worry about slowly dragging my cursor. I can just swipe, and it's only moving this much compared to that much at a different DPI. The other one's just for everyday use, using web browser, gaming, whatever. Also in the software, you can change between endurance and performance mode. If you're just going to use this mouse for work and you're just doing things like a casual use, you're not using it to have the best aim possible, go for endurance. It's great for day-to-day stuff. It's great for working. It's great for if you're not going to be gaming with it. If you're going to be using it for gaming, I recommend just putting on performance. It'll just work faster and work better for you gaming and making sure you get those precise aims and you're getting exactly where you need to be. Now, there's something on it called memory mode. On first glance, it was confusing. It made me turn it off so that I could customize it, and if I turned it on, it wouldn't let me change anything. I was super confused, but basically this is what it is in a nutshell. If you turn it on, whatever settings you have on it, the mouse remembers what it needs to do and what the settings are. Whenever you change it from your computer to your laptop to another computer to an even different computer, it doesn't matter. It's going to know what it needs to do without getting the software again. Once you turn it off, you can customize the settings. You can go through it, change everything you want and need to. And then once you turn it back on memory mode, it'll remember everything without needing software on another computer or laptop. But if you have it off, you're going to have to download the software again and change everything again. I hope that made sense. And lastly, most important part, price. This mouse cost me $39.97, very specific number, at Walmart. It is on rollback. It was on rollback when I got it. It should still be. And that's for the black mouse specifically. Walmart does also sell different colored ones, and they're each at different prices. I don't know why, they just are. So it's $49.99 for the white and the lilac colors, $43.90 for the mint color, and $39.99 for the blue color. Now on Logitech's website, all those colors are $49.99, all except one. There's the $59.99 KDA color. It's black and white and a little bit of blue, so that's the only price difference. Everything else on the Logitech website says that it is supposed to be $59.99, but they've dropped it down to $49.99. I recommend getting it from Walmart if you're going to get specifically the black, the blue, or even the mint color. If you're going to get the white or the lilac color, doesn't matter, just your preference, but either way it's going to be $49.99 unless Walmart changes it on their website or in store. If your in-store price is different, then just know what your in-store price is. So what are my thoughts on it? I think the mouse is good. Overall, the Logitech G305 wireless mouse is good for gamers and non-gamers alike. From your every day-to-day tasks like work, editing, doing whatever, Zoom calls, it's amazing. For gaming, great. Change your DPI settings, whatever you like. It's great, responsive. It's like having a wired mouse without having it wired. Don't be surprised, like I said, if at first it stutters. In my opinion, it's just trying to get used to it, but it hasn't happened really since when it's important. So it doesn't really affect my gaming or day-to-day tasks with it. So if you're in the market and you're going to buy this mouse, go ahead and go with the black one in my opinion if you want to get the cheapest one. It's 2 cents cheaper, the absolute cheapest one through Walmart at least. But if you want a color that specifically goes with your setup, look for the one that corresponds for you and get that one if price is not an issue for you. But I would still see if Walmart has the cheaper deal than the actual Logitech website, because most of them are, except two of them are the same as the website. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.